Anytime, any day. Why not right now? Stop looking up to your boss and start being your own boss. Don't work for paychecks. Work for dreams with no regrets. This is Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. If you have the passion, we'll create the blueprint. Now, your host. You know him from his 7 tips to build the business you always wanted, and now you're about to hear a lot more. Jack H.M. Wong.
Welcome to the other episode of Cracking the Entrepreneur Code podcast. I'm your host, Jack Wong. Having a very clear message to the market to meet the market's wants and needs is super important. So to get what the market wants and what the market needs, your job is to ask questions. So many times when you have a chance to deal with your clients or deal with a prospects, your job is basically to ask questions. But imagine you have the opportunity to speak in front of the room. Not just one person, but a few people, and a few people can be tens of people, hundreds of people, or even thousands of people. So what exactly would you say and ask? I've got this incident whereby I was working with one of my business partners, the fashion guy that you may have remembered a few episodes ago. He is basically running an event, and the event is going to be the first time he's doing that. He's not a trainer, he's not a speaker, but he has decided to run this event, so I give him full credits for being so brave and go out and jump out of the plane and do this event. So congratulations, first of all. Anyway, the story is that many times when you speak in front of the room, these people don't know you, or they may have read your profile, but your profile will not be sufficient to certain people and they still don't know you. And you have this moment of, oh my God, I'm speaking in front of the room for the very first time. It might be like 10 people, 20 people, but I haven't done this in my life. This is my first time. So I remember when I first started doing public speaking, that was in year 2000. My first experience was I was speaking in front of 150 people. So my first time I did 150 people. I said, I have no freaking idea how I did that. Am I a born speaker? No. I just couldn't remember how I did that. But of course, right now, if I speak in front of 5,000 people, which is still my record as of today, no issue. Why? Because it is a matter of practice. And what's the word? Practice. That's right. Okay, so let me come back to this scenario. Imagine you are now about to make your first sentence, your statement, or you may even ask a question. What are you going to do? Many people who have not been trained, because they are in fear, they stand, they shake their legs, they tremble, they don't know what is going to come out from the mouth. It's very convenient for them to say, good morning. Or if it is an evening session, good evening, everyone, how are you? Oh my God, you actually spoiled the people's mood. So the first lesson is never, ever say hello, how do you do? Or good morning, good evening. You want to impress these people. So the very first thing that comes out from your mouth has to inspire them, has to wow them. I have a moment of pause here because I want you to get to this thinking mode and reflection mode. How many times have you been to a presenter's presentation and the guy in front of you simply just say, hello, how are you? Good morning, good evening. And you say, again. So I want you to be shocked by the very first word that comes from your speaker, your presenter. So this is what I did. I say, how many of you, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it has to be in a context. So you can ask questions. But my purpose of asking these questions is not to engage with them intellectually. I also want to engage with them emotionally. Because you want them to feel that you are the guy, you have not just the credibility, you have the solution to help them. Because there is a reason why these people are here. So What happened was that in this business partner's first training, he is going to invite a group of people who are there to support him. Like as usual, a lot of trainers, when they first started, they would invite their friends to be there to see how the person is doing and support the person. I mean, that's normal practice. Who hasn't done that actually? I will be the first one raising my hand and say, I did that before, okay? But I'm not doing this anymore because I know they are here to support me, but they won't buy my product or services because they are not my target audience in the first place. So I hate the fact that my friends are here to support me, but in the end, the bottom line is that I get nothing from them. So that is my own philosophy, okay? But having said that, coming back to this scenario. So in the room here, there's so many people. They are from all walks of life. Some of them are unemployed. Some of them are retired. Some of them are still having their job. So if your target audience are entrepreneurs, you know what? You have already got the wrong people in the room. Isn't it? Because the person who is still on the job, the person who is retired will not be your target audience if you are looking for entrepreneurs. So the question that you want to ask is a question that will hook them as a unit. So I asked, so what do you want to teach in this training, in this session? He said, I want to teach people how to dress well, how to impress people by saying the right thing. And he also said that, well, I want to make sure that they are able to answer questions in a natural way without any fear. Okay, so what is the common theme about this? The common theme is about interacting with people and be looking good. Okay, so what I'm doing is that I want to understand exactly how to find the least or the lowest common denominator of what my business partner is going to teach, so that when I am about to ask questions for the very first time by speaking in front of the room, I want to inspire them. I want to hope them. I want to make sure that they will raise their hand and resonate with my questions. How many of you here understand that you cannot work by yourself? So obviously, I don't care who you are. Human beings are basically a group of people. They have to live in common. They cannot live by themselves. There's no Robinson Crusoe. There's no Rambo. I mean, you can see in the movies, but in the real life, you've got to deal with other people. How many of you realize that it's important to constantly interact with other people? Whether it's in your office, whether it's your family, whether with your friends, in your own community. How many of you realize this is important? So again, in the room, if the unemployed says, no, cannot be, because an employee has his own family. The retired person might have his grandchildren. The person who is on the job will have to interact with his boss. So what happened is that I asked this question basically is to hook them intellectually and emotionally. Because you know what I'm going to share with you tonight, I'm assuming this is an evening session, what I'm going to show you tonight is something that's very mission critical. In fact, I feel very, very selfish if I'm not sharing this with you, because that's how this process that I'm going to share with you has changed my life and the friends around me, because it helps you to interact with these people that you love, adore, emotionally and mentally. Well, physically might be a bit different, it might be a bit difficult to say, but just be careful with that, because at the end of the day, everybody needs someone. Actually, I'm stolen a song. I'm stolen a song I'm stolen the title of a song. It's called Everybody's Someone, because that is a very, very nice song. Sorry about that. So I acknowledge that first. So my point is that if you are able to ask questions, to inspire them, to raise hand, to hook them, to interact with you, you don't need to be afraid of who you are now. I don't care whether you're a new guy, I don't care whether you're an experienced person, because words come from your mouth for the very first time in the session is intelligent. And these people, the little voice will say, oh my God, wow, this guy is so good. It's so different from other people, because other people will just say, hello, good morning, hello, good afternoon, hello, good evening, how do you do? Are we okay? Shall we have a great time? You say, I'm about to use the word F. Please, don't be the general presenters, be an inspiring, awesome one. So when you ask questions, Asking question is a science. Every question you ask must be carefully planned so that it comes from your mouth and people can feel that you are intelligent. Because once they feel you're intelligent, you have won more than 50% of the battle on credibility. Because people will begin to trust you. And the very first few questions you ask have to be very, very carefully designed so that you know what, these people will stay throughout the whole session and get hooked till the end. So important. So I actually gave the whole template with my business partners. I hope that he will use something out of that and have a very good show or presentation, if you like, in the following week. So at the time when I did this recording, well, obviously his presentation will be in the next few days. So I want to do a follow-up episode and see how he has done. I want to feedback to you, well, these things that I'm sharing with you now works. So do I believe they work? Yes, they are, because that's how I did in Vietnam, in Thailand, because the questions I've asked in different occasions are different because I sense what they want and what they need. The very first few questions have to be very, very important and carefully designed. That is my whole point. Okay? So how many of you have learned something so far? Good, thank you. And how many of you noticed that by just implementing one simple idea in this episode, it can potentially change the way you present next time? Thank you. See, I've just used 2 questions to hook you. You may not notice that. All right. So thank you once again. Thank you for listening to this episode. And if you have any questions, comments, let me know. And if you have friends, colleagues, and peers who are struggling with presentation in front of the room, share this episode with them, because helping them by asking intelligent questions at first instance could potentially save their lives. All right. So get them subscribed to my podcast show, get notification of future episodes. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Jack Wong. Be relentless and be an awesome presenter, everyone. Bye.
To continue cracking the entrepreneur code, subscribe for more episodes and download the Amazon bestseller, Cracking the Entrepreneur Code, 7 Tips to Build the Business You Always Wanted at crackingentrepreneur.com. Learn more about author and host Jack H.M. Wong and book your 30-minute discovery session to overcome any professional challenge at jackhmwong.com/apply.